Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Valkyrie by Bryan Singer starring Tom Cruise. I've watched plenty of films from Singer over the years, especially those X-Men movies. But recently I think he was accused of some really nasty stuff like Spacey. But that's not why we're here. I just want to remind everyone that I try and separate the art from the artist, and I really don't believe that one single person can ruin an entire movie, to be honest. Movie productions, they're a collaborative effort of what, hundreds of people, and letting one person ruin a film is just giving more power to them, if that makes any sense. I hope you see where I'm coming from. That being said, I know a little about this movie, Valkyrie. I was meant to watch it when it first came out in 2008. But I think I had finals coming up, so I just kind of had to skip it. I do remember the trailers, and I do know that it's based on true events, and the character that Cruise plays was a real person. I believe it's a thriller that depicts one of the many attempts to assassinate Hitler, which obviously failed. But I'm really interested to see what really happened, or what actually happened. I do realize a lot of it is probably fictionalized, but the broad strokes of the story should hold true. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reviews and reactions to this movie and over 210 movies, 2 TV shows, early access, and weekly polls for what to watch next. You'll need your own copy to watch along. The link's in the description below, by the way. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications to check out my other videos. Like if you like this video, feel free to dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Valkyrie, Singer, Cruise. Let's go. The following is based on a true story. Valkyrie. I have to assume this is a big budget movie. Tom Cruise doesn't do smaller films. Damn, this is the oath that they used to take. You don't swear fealty to your country, you swear fealty to a particular person. That's a bad sign. Tunisia, North Africa, the German 10th Panzer. Oh, so Cruise's character already hates their leader.
The mass execution of Jews.
I like the transition from German to English. They're not trying to do a fake German accent like a lot of movies.
I cannot find one general in a position to confront Hitler with the courage to do it. Hitler is not only the arch enemy of the entire world, but the arch enemy of Germany.
Ooh, that's blasphemy.
A change must be made.
I like this introduction.
We keep fighting until the final victory.
North Africa is lost, and you're going to need these men a year from now to defend Berlin.
It's just that sort of talk that had you sent here, Colonel.
What I said was much worse.
Interesting how that dude has a English accent compared to Cruise's American, but they're both meant to be playing German. We'll have to look past that.
See that he's done.
That was loud. What an explosion! It's an ambush! Jeez. Oh wow. Look at the set piece. This entire sequence. And knowing Tom Cruise, there's very minimal CGI here. It's better you take cover under some rock. His whole right side is burnt. He's still alive though, obviously. Okay, now we're at the Eastern Front in Russia. So we are well into World War II, 4 years in, almost. Ooh, I know this actor, Kenneth something. Ooh, it's the infamous man himself. If you notice, I'm kind of avoiding naming him multiple times because YouTube's algorithms, man, they pick up this little stuff and just demonetize the video. Explosives. So there's already a plot to kill him. Again, I know it'll fail, right? But holy crap.
On regards to Colonel Sneak,
like the use of absolute silence here. It really raises the tension.
He's landed.
Well, that failed and they're in real trouble now. I wonder how this film was received in Germany when it first came out.
This what you've come for?
He knows, doesn't he?
Well, you've come a long way. You must be thirsty.
What a tense scene. You're holding it too suspiciously, my man. First General Military Hospital. Oh, dude, that's Melisandre in Game of Thrones.
He's missing the fourth and fifth fingers on the left hand. We couldn't save the left eye.
Jeez. I wonder whether showing Cruz's character at the beginning hating the high command, was that a means for the audience to gain sympathy for his character immediately? Because I do feel sympathy for his character. Oh yeah, he has a fake eye, right. And only 3 fingers. I think in Germany they count to 3 like this, 1, 2, 3, instead of 1, 2, 3. And that was a big plot point in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds, if I recall correctly. It looks like he's been promoted and he's giving out medals, but in such a sad way, huh?
I know now there's only one way to serve Germany. In doing so, I'll be a traitor.
You know where to find us.
Yeah, the director's going out of his way to make the audience feel sympathy for him. It's working.
Our only option now is to confront Hitler openly.
The entire resistance.
Oh, please.
I'm sorry, Lutz.
Dude, that's Darren Stamp, a legendary actor.
When Hitler is gone, then what?
I'm sorry, who is this man?
I'm simply asking what you intend to do when Hitler is gone.
I mean, what is the plan? After every coup, there's chaos, and they need to plan ahead.
You are in the presence of men who would have been Hitler's inner circle. Instead, we refused, Colonel.
An oath that won't just die with Hitler. What are you gonna do?
He'll become a martyr. Even more humanizing him by showing his kids. He doesn't like what he sees, and he sees his kids' future. Things are about to go down. Yeah, I think this movie's more focused on his particular story, not the overall war.
We've already considered Valkyrie. It isn't suitable.
Not as it's currently written, but the Colonel has an idea I think we should consider.
Valkyrie is designed to contain civil unrest. But what if the SS were staging a coup? Hitler's own reserve army, using Hitler's own plan, will have no choice but to seize power in Berlin to prevent the SS takeover.
They want to use Valkyrie.
How else are you going to convince people the SS are trying to seize power?
We have to kill Hitler.
And what about Fromm?
From? Who is from?
He's the commander of the reserve army.
I can put the reserve troops on alert, but only Fromm can initiate Valkyrie.
Offer him a key position in the new regime. Make him see the light.
I don't know what to think of that incentive, but I guess that's the only way they can think of.
When is it you want?
Dude, that's Tom Wilkinson.
Well, I'd offer you my hand, but I might not get it back.
We must act. Sometimes rashly.
And what rash action did you have in mind?
That would be a decision for the Supreme Military Commander. Sir.
The Supreme Commander.
Dude.
Having said that, I'm going to forget this conversation ever took place.
Yeah, he's not falling for it.
And as long as the Fuhrer is alive, you know what side that is.
Oh man, that's a double-edged sword, isn't it? As long as the Fuhrer is alive, you know what side I'm on. Implying that if the Fuhrer is dead, he's willing to change his mind. But he's not going to do anything about it. Oh man, what a great scene.
What makes you think you're stronger than the people? The Reich, the very momentum of history!
This is going to happen.
So far, the story has been pretty compelling. The production end is really impressive, but the pacing is a little off.
You've been promoted Chief of Staff for the Reserve Army.
Excuse me.
Congratulations.
He's the Chief of Staff of the Reserved Army now.
Do you know how this war will end, Lieutenant? The portrait will be unhung, and the man will be hung.
Dude, that was way too direct. 1944, just before the end of the war. Yeah, they're not showing him properly yet. there he is.
Let this man stand as an example to all of you. He is the ideal German officer.
Well, the actor certainly looks like the man, but it's probably the most risky thing he's ever done in his life, right? Because if the Führer actually reads it, they're dead.
The Valkyrie, handmaidens of the gods.
Yeah, I don't think he's reading it properly, just glossing over it. He has other things on his mind.
One cannot understand National Socialism if one does not understand Wagner.
They got it, they got his signature, it's official.
When the acid eats through the wire holding back the firing pin, well, you'll want to be very far away.
Dude, we saw this detonator at the beginning of the film and it didn't work.
Steel door, no windows. The air pressure generated by just one of these explosives in a space like that will kill everyone instantly.
By some miracle, Hitler does survive. What then?
We still initiate Valkyrie.
This is a military operation. Nothing ever goes according to plan.
Yeah, this must have been very difficult saying goodbye.
If I fail, I'll come for you. I know.
And she's on board. Good on her. And she's pregnant.
Stauffenberg will call for authorization to proceed. After the flash, his inside man will sever all communications. We can negotiate a truce with the Allies and save Europe from total destruction.
All this has to go down in 3 to 4 hours.
It's calling the reserve army for some sort of standby action in all the military districts, including Berlin.
Looks like a drill of some kind.
I've watched my fair share of World War II movies and documentaries, and the costuming work in this film is very well done. 9 a.m., 4 hours before the meeting. And that's what's on his mind. More humanization work for the character. Oh, dude. That's quite a way to kill a mosquito. I recently read that all these uniforms, they were made by Hugo Boss. I wonder how much of that is true. I need to read up on it more. Yeah, another fascinating chapter in history is how these companies like Mercedes and Hugo Boss, they rebranded themselves after the war. He's here.
Confrontation.
Himmler's not here. Himmler isn't here.
He wants to proceed.
Oh, bureaucracy.
Beck, Himmler's not at the briefing.
No.
No.
I say do it.
Oh, dude, they already... It's over.
Colonel, your bag.
This has been a drill. You're dismissed.
Because not only have you proved to me you can't deliver, you've painted a target on my back.
What a flaky person.
Heil Hitler!
That's quite the statement, isn't it? What he gave up for that man in the background.
I propose that we relieve Colonel Stauffenberg.
Himmler has issued a warrant for your arrest.
Good luck, Colonel.
But he cut himself on purpose for some reason. Okay, they're at the wolf's lair again.
Do you have a place where I could change, Major?
Please follow me.
He did do it on purpose. Oh, dude, they're going for it this time. Himmler or no Himmler, they're just going to go for it.
I can manage this.
Okay, it's finally getting a little tense.
It's too hot. The briefing has been moved to the conference hut.
Oh no! The conference hut has windows. Oh man. I wonder whether this actually happened in real life or not. Jeez! What an explosion! And that was a realistic explosion without all that CGI fire. We know that he's not dead, the Führer. And we have almost a redemption type score. It comes off almost as sad. Here it is.
Valkyrie? Valkyrie! The bomb did go off, that much was clear. Valgibel's next step will be to sever all communications. This is our only...
I'm not doing anything until I hear from Valgibel. Get him back on the phone now.
More indecisiveness. There's your witness. The main criticism I have of this movie so far, I guess it's the pacing and not the length. I think the length is fine, but the pacing is inconsistent.
Explain this. To do something while you were.
We don't know that Hitler is not alive.
This
We don't
is about
know
German,
anything.
for God's sake, not you.
It's interesting how one of the characters is framed in the light.
It's been 3 hours, Ulrich.
What the hell have you been doing? I saw the explosion myself!
They've been doing nothing for 3 hours. It's not a drill this time.
Our Führer is dead.
Who told you the Führer was dead?
Another failed attempt. The Führer was never in danger. By the way, where's your man Stauffenberg?
Oh, the witness. Oh, I knew it.
Adolf Hitler is dead. Operation Valkyrie is in effect.
Only I can initiate Valkyrie.
They forged his signature.
If what you say is true, you should shoot yourself immediately. The rest of you are under arrest.
No, General. You are.
They have no idea that the Führer is still alive.
Colonel Stauffenberg, sir. We are reporting for duty.
Wow, for a split second, Stauffenberg's in charge of everything. I know this is Stauffenberg's story, but I really want to know what's happening with the high command at this moment, how they are reacting to the situation.
The others from the Wolf's Lair to arrest Colonel Stauffenberg.
Two conflicting arrest reports?
Send them both through.
Yeah, their job is just to pass on info.
Do we arrest them both? I would hate to find out I'm being taken advantage of. You really think it's a coup?
Oh, cyanide.
Are you a dedicated National Socialist, Major?
Yes, sir.
I can only imagine who's on the other line of the call.
Do you recognize my voice?
Oh, crap. Ah, it's confirmed now.
Send through all communications from the Wolf's Lair. Stop all communications from Stauffenberg.
Yeah, okay.
Phone with Hitler himself. We are the coup, you idiot. We've been duped.
I have another question. Did the international community know about this plot?
Send the following orders to all Reserve Army commanders. Broadcast incorrect. Führer is dead.
Oh, even more denial.
I'm sorry.
If they would have acted sooner, would it have made a difference? That dude waited like 3 hours before activating the Reserve Army.
Sir, we have to get you out of here.
And the realization is finally dawning on them.
Stand down!
I said stop!
I said stand down!
An actual gunfight. Did this happen in real life? And Fromm's back in command, I assume.
With all respect,
That will be all, Major.
Killing us won't hide your involvement.
My involvement? I don't know what you're talking about.
This is an outrage that has never before been perpetrated here.
My fellow Germans, I speak to you tonight for two reasons.
I remember you.
Albrecht!
Dude, powerful words.
Stand!
Long live sacred Germany!
Stand!
The silence is deafening. Frederick Fromm. Executed! Yay! Oh, the coward. I think he's the villain of the movie. I mean, the Führer is the main villain of the world, but in this particular movie, oh man. I mean, he had the power of keeping them alive till the end of the war, but no, he wanted to save his own ass and just executed them immediately. What a coward, what a flaky bastard. 9 months later, with Berlin surrounded, he committed suicide. That much we know. Nina von Stauffenberg and her children survived the war. She died April 2006. Wow, she lived a full life. Okay, I actually enjoyed this film, guys. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece. Oh, it's written by Christopher McQuarrie. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece by any means, but it was fairly entertaining. The production end was great. Yeah, it did have some problems we'll discuss, but overall I did enjoy it. Okay, I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a very good movie. I really liked the writing The directing itself was better than average. The performances, for the most part, they were very good. But the production end was excellent, especially the costumes, sets, and explosions. The main weaknesses of the movie, in my opinion, were the pacing, not the length. I thought 2 hours was fine. The score was average, and most importantly, I felt like this movie was missing a proper side plot, which I feel is an essential element. The focus was very narrow, just on Stauffenberg and the plot itself. I wish we got to see things from the High Command's perspective too. I think that would have helped to balance out the story a little and create even more sympathy for the resistance movement. It would have created more of a contrast, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, let's start with the directing by Bryan Singer and the script by Christopher McQuarrie and Nathan Alexander. I thought the script was it was one of the strengths of the movie. For the most part, again, majority of the film, I thought it was very well written, and I think the characters of the resistance, they were fairly well explored and defined. The main conspirators, led by Stauffenberg, Tresckow, Albrecht, Beck, and the rest, they were fairly fleshed out, and the director does take a lot of time in exploring their characters and their motivations. The entire first act was focused just on that. Tom Cruise's Stauffenberg was a particular standout, of course, and I felt like the writers and director went out of their way to show us that he was a family man and a man of God. I will say that they did a very good job in humanizing him and grounding him as the POV character in the eyes of the audience. Tom Cruise's performance, it was great as usual. But apart from his American accent sticking out in a sea of British accents, he was fairly convincing in his character. He's always very, very committed in his roles, but that accent, it kind of stood out for me. The rest of the cast were very good too, and I'd almost considered this as an ensemble film. I didn't know that there were so many heavy hitters in this production, and they all did a fantastic job in their roles. A particular shout out goes to Tom Wilkinson's General Fromm. I think he was the main villain of this movie. I mean, the Führer was the real villain in the grand scheme of things, but here I felt like he was the antagonist. He could have done more. At the end, to save his own butt, he has all the conspirators just shot dead immediately instead of capturing them alive like they were ordered to. The war, it would have been over in 9 months, and I'm actually thankful that he got executed before that. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's true. Like I just said, the overall story was fairly compelling, but the issue I had with the script was the lack of a side plot or something to switch the audience's attention when a scene reaches its natural tension point. For example, when the assassination attempt fails, the story just keeps going from Stauffenberg's perspective. What I would have done if I were the director, and I'm not, obviously, what I would have done is to show things from the High Command's point of view to keep the tension high at all times. It's a balancing act. A lot of directors do really well. When the audience's attention is at a peak, they switch to something else, and that goes to a peak, and they keep switching to keep the tension high all the time. I didn't think Bryan Singer did a very good job with that here. I think including a subplot would have balanced the movie out a little more. It would have shown the assassination attempt or the coup from both sides, which would have helped the audience in sympathizing with the resistance movement even more. At least that's what I think. Putting that aside, I wonder how much of what we were shown was true. Sometimes the truth is crazier than fiction, and this was an outlandish story. It's something I'll be exploring more after finishing the review. I'll be reading the Wikipedia page to start, but do let me know if there are any documentaries you'd recommend on this subject. Moving on to the production end, the score was lackluster in my opinion. Some of the more silent scenes, they were very well done, but I thought even when the score kicked up during the assassination attempt or during the final sequence, it was okay at best. There was no hook or a memorable motif. I don't know. It didn't capture my attention is what I'm trying to say. But also, on the other hand, it didn't interfere too much with my viewing experience. I guess no score is better than a bad one. The costuming work and the elaborate sets on the other hand, holy crap, they were very impressive. They looked period appropriate and realistic. The guns, the planes, the vehicles, the buildings, they were all on point. And those huge sets, they must have been a nightmare for the team to make and manage. Finally, another big shout out goes to the top tier explosions in the movie. Every single one of them, they look realistic. Don't get me wrong, I love those Hollywood explosions with those huge flame balls, but not all explosions look like that. The explosions in this movie, they were small and they looked very realistic. I've seen a lot of documentaries about World War II where I saw grenades go off and there's no fireball. So great work in the production and to make it look realistic, if that makes any sense. Anyways, as I've talked about my criticisms already, overall, Valkyrie was a flawed but very entertaining and tension-filled film. The acting from Tom Cruise and the rest of the star-studded cast, they were excellent. The production team did a heck of a job with the look and feel. The story itself was compelling, but I did think that it was missing a crucial element, a side plot. That would have elevated the film to greatness, in my opinion. Although the pacing does suffer and the score was average, it didn't detract from the overall experience, as I found myself rooting for Stauffenberg and the rest of the resistance from the opening scene. I would recommend this film for lovers of history, or if you just love Tom Cruise. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a Patreon. Subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for instant notifications. Do check out my other videos. Like if you like this video. Feel free to dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.